Hello friends. In this video, I want to dive deep into some of the most common and widespread methods people use to deal with the emotional pain that follows a breakup. These are the standard techniques you'll come across on the internet, in articles, forums, and advice columns. While they are popular, they're not all equally effective. Some will genuinely help you heal, while others are more like time wasters that might even make things worse. This isn't a complete list, but we'll explore both the approaches that work and those that don't, and I'll explain why. Let's get into it. 1. The distraction method. One of the first suggestions people usually give is to distract yourself. This means shifting your focus from the pain of your breakup to other activities that can occupy your mind. It might involve diving into hobbies, going to exhibitions, watching movies, hitting the clubs, playing sports, or traveling to new places. This approach works in the short term. It gives your brain a break from the endless cycle of sadness, regret, or longing. When you're engaged in something stimulating, your mind doesn't have as much space to dwell on what you've lost. But here's the catch. Distractions don't address the root of the problem. They're like putting a bandage on a wound without cleaning it first. The pain is still there beneath the surface, and if left unaddressed, it can resurface in unexpected ways later on. Distraction is fine as a temporary coping mechanism, but it's not a long-term solution. 2. Throwing yourself into work. Another common method is to immerse yourself in work. Unlike the distraction method, which involves activities that are more for relaxation or fun, this approach is about channeling your energy into productivity. You take on extra projects, extend your work hours, and keep yourself busy with tasks that require focus and effort. This method has its benefits. For one, it keeps your mind occupied, just like the distraction method. But it also comes with added advantages: financial growth, professional advancement, and a sense of accomplishment. Some people even find that their breakup ends up being the catalyst for career success because they pour all their emotional energy into their work. That said, it's important not to let work take over your life completely. Becoming a workaholic might help you forget your pain for a while, but it can leave other areas of your life like your health, relationships with family and friends, and personal happiness neglected. Balance is key. 3. Fight fire with fire. This method is as old as time itself. When you're hurting from a breakup, you look for someone new to fill the void. It's the classic rebound relationship. If you approach this method with self-awareness, knowing that it's a temporary fix, it can provide some relief. You get companionship, attention, and someone to share your time with, which can make the pain of loneliness less intense. But here's the problem. Many people enter rebound relationships expecting them to be serious, long-term commitments. When you're still carrying pain from a past relationship, it clouds your judgment. You might choose a partner who isn't truly compatible with you, simply because you're desperate to avoid being alone. I've seen cases where people stayed in such relationships for years, sometimes decades, only to realize later that they were never truly happy. They were just afraid of facing their emotions alone. If you do decide to try this method, it's crucial to be honest with yourself and with the new person. Don't make promises you can't keep or lead them on. And if you're hoping to build something serious, make sure you've healed your own wounds first. Otherwise, you're just swapping one crutch for another. 4. Turning to alcohol or drugs. This is one of the most dangerous paths people take after a breakup. Let's start with drugs. They are never the answer. Even light substances might seem harmless at first, but they carry a high risk of dependency. A breakup can be the trigger that leads to regular use. And from there, it's a slippery slope to heavier substances. No relationship, no matter how painful the ending, is worth sacrificing your future over. Alcohol, on the other hand, is a more socially acceptable coping mechanism. Having a drink or two to calm your nerves might seem harmless, and in moderation, it can be. A glass of wine or a beer might help you relax and reduce anxiety in the short term. But the danger comes when you start relying on alcohol to numb your feelings regularly. Overindulgence can lead to poor decisions, such as contacting your ex in a moment of weakness or engaging in risky behavior. Long-term alcohol use can also lead to dependency, depression, and a host of physical health problems. The bottom line? While a small amount of alcohol might provide temporary relief, it's far better to address the root causes of your pain directly. 5. Medication. Antidepressants, antipsychotics, and sedatives. In extreme cases, some people turn to medication to cope with the emotional pain of a breakup. Sedatives can be helpful for managing acute symptoms like sleeplessness or severe anxiety, but stronger medications like antidepressants or antipsychotics should only be taken under a psychiatrist's supervision. The problem with medication is that it treats the symptoms, not the cause. It might numb your pain temporarily, but it doesn't resolve the underlying emotional issues. Worse, some people become dependent on these medications, using them as a crutch for years without ever learning how to cope naturally. If you're struggling with severe symptoms, medication can be a helpful short-term solution. But ultimately, the goal should be to build your own resilience and learn healthier coping mechanisms. 6. Trying to get back together. For some people, the idea of getting back together with their ex feels like the easiest way to stop the pain. After all, if the relationship is restored, the hurt should go away, right? Not necessarily. If the issues that led to the breakup aren't addressed, getting back together often just prolongs the cycle of pain and frustration. You might find yourself breaking up all over again in a few months or even worse, stuck in a toxic relationship that neither of you is happy in. That said, there are exceptions. If the breakup was caused by a misunderstanding or temporary conflict, and the relationship was otherwise healthy, reconciliation might be worth considering. The key is open and honest communication. 7. Drastic changes to yourself or your environment. Some people respond to a breakup by making dramatic changes in their lives. They might dye their hair a bold color, adopt a completely new style of clothing, or even move to a new city. The idea is to create a fresh start and leave the past behind. While these changes can feel empowering in the moment, they're often a way of avoiding the deeper emotional work that needs to be done. True healing comes from within. External changes can be a part of the process, but they shouldn't be the main focus. 8. Waiting for time to heal. The final method is the doctor time, approachably waiting for the pain to fade on its own. This is perhaps the most passive method, and while it's true that time can dull the intensity of your emotions, it's not a cure-all. Emotional wounds, like physical ones, require proper care to heal. If you leave them unattended, they can become infected and cause long-term damage. Final thoughts. Breakups are one of life's most challenging experiences, but they're also an opportunity for growth. By understanding your pain and taking active steps to heal, you can emerge from this experience stronger, wiser, and more confident. Don't wait for time to work its magic. Take charge of your healing journey today. Subscribe for more practical advice and tips to help you overcome emotional challenges and create the life you deserve.